Mark Pinder. I work as a digital transformation consultant, a program manager and a business architect. Three rather weighty titles that all contribute to each other to make up for a total package that goes towards helping organisations transform themselves to work in a digital environment. I think the biggest change so far, and we're only just starting to scrape the surface of it, is the API economy. That is where businesses open themselves up to interactions with other businesses, whereas previously we had to sort of exchange documents or long and involved conversations about how we'd put data together. For example, flight data with hotel data. That sort of thing is now becoming more and more something that computers can do. We can negotiate the conversation. So instead of having to go to a hotel booking site to book my hotel, I can go to an airline site, but I can also extend that far, far, far further than all of these sort of things. We'll start to see organisations booking into Uber, combining with say flight information and weather information so that you know there'll be Ubers available for you when you arrive at the destination. That's going to be huge. Beyond that, we've also got things like the Internet of Things starting to make its appearance. While that might be in the level of hype at this moment in time, they're still going to change the way that all of our worlds work. I've had some great projects over the years. I've had some real learning experience projects as well. I was involved in a massive re-platforming for Vodafone here. That was a couple of years of a project. That was huge, and I met some wonderful people and learned some incredible things along the way. Certainly you learn a lot from doing those very, very big projects. Whatever happens at scale is really intense. Another one one of my favourite experiences was in the UK when Prudential, a large insurance company, was interested in moving into the banking area. They had a large consultancy, who I won't name to protect the innocent, involved in it for a year with no progress. They approached a group of 6 of us about how do we make this thing work, and within 9 months we turned a situation from nothing into a fully functioning bank that had been audited and approved by the Bank of England. That was a really interesting situation, and probably the first time that I'd actually implemented what was the precursor of Agile Methodologies at that point in time. Everyone's going to come in with a different orientation. You'll come from potentially a business analysis background where you've got that inquiring mindset and the ability to write structured requirements to communicate between yourselves, the businesses and the development community. Other times you'll be an organiser, you'll be a facilitator. So this is where you'll take a workshop, you'll come from a project management background. Your ability is all about how do you get people to work together. And then you'll have the other ones who come from a more technical bias. They actually understand how these bits and pieces work together to create a whole solution. It's an area where it's all about the relationships. It's very important that you're managing both downwards into your team and upwards into your stakeholders and sponsors. Your communication skills and ability to create relationships will be what is the thing that sets you apart. In general, focus on achieving business outcomes because the detailed requirements will change over time. The business outcome is the most important thing to know and understand. And if you as a project manager understand the business outcome, you'll be able to communicate that into your team and you're more likely to achieve a successful outcome. So for those people who are still working in, say, a programmer's role or an analyst role or a tester role looking to move into project management, start to understand the business context about which you're executing in, and then think about all the relationships you have on a daily basis and work at managing those. So Agile is a set of practices that have sprung out of the Toyota method of manufacturing, the lean manufacturing idea. It's all about the idea of iteration, small batch sizes, getting things into production as quickly as possible so that you can actually learn from that situation. It's also about being adaptive to change. It's understanding that you won't get it 100% right the first time, but getting something out there that you can learn from is more important than having nothing there. In terms of the mechanisms, Agile has some well-defined and documented standards and what I'd call conventions and if you're looking for something in that space, I'd certainly recommend looking at Scrum as a mechanism to go forward. For smaller, more maintenance type activities, Kanban is definitely your friend.